Chapter 78. The so-called Caesar cipher is currently the simplest and most widely known encryption method. In short, all the letters in the alphabet are shifted. For example, A becomes B, B becomes C. For instance, a common English word, CA, when encrypted using the Caesar cipher by shifting the letters once, it becomes DBO. It looks like a string of gibberish when written like this, but after deciphering, it can turn into the exact word. The only thing that needs to be confirmed now is how many times the letters have been shifted. After all, Tisha wasn't an expert in cracking password, although he knew the general direction. For the remaining problems, he could only use the most clumsy and straightforward method, trial and error. He first assumed that each letter was shifted once, but after spending a few minutes cracking it, he still got a string of gibberish. So he tried shifting them twice. This seemingly simple step made Tisha silent for a long time. MLGDRZDQVXL. He didn't have a pen or paper at hand. Everything had to rely on the calculations in his mind. Shifting each of this long string of letters twice, thinking of M as K and L as J, was really not an easy task. Still not right. A few minutes later, Tisha slowly frowned. He had already tried twice but still hadn't cracked the password. Could it be that his line of thinking was wrong? All the letters can be shifted a total of 25 times. In other words, A can be any letter except A. If each one had to be calculated mentally, the amount of work would be unimaginably huge. Is this your trick? Zhang Yuozhu asked, leaning against the door frame. Tisha didn't answer. He just calmed himself down and started the third round of shifting. From now on, he was going to try to shift each letter forward 3 times, thinking of M as J and L as I. At this time, after only testing 5 letters, TXIA's expression became solemn. Zhang Yuozhu also looked at him with great interest. Oh, have you figured it out? TXIA's lips moved slightly as he read out his answer. JIEAOWANSUI. Yes, yes, yes. Zhang Yuozhu clapped her hands happily after deciphering. It really is Jidao Wansui. I thought it hadn't worked. At the mention of these 4 words, Tisha was unusually panicked. He plopped down on the seat, looking at Zhang Yuozhu with some horror, muttering to himself, "What on earth are you going to do?" "Nothing much." Zhang Yuozhu shook her head. "I'm going to die anyway. This time, just consider it as saying hello to you." "Say hello." Tisha gritted his teeth. "The last time you said hello to me, you killed 2 of my companions." "Oh, is that so?" Zhang Yuozhu was slightly stunned. "So, Xiao Xiao took action. She didn't mention this to us, but it doesn't matter. Please bear with it. Xiao Xiao has always been like that, but she's actually a nice person." "What nonsense are you talking to me?" Tisha slowly stood up. "A nice person? I'd like to tear her to pieces right now. You seem really angry." Zhang Yuozhu walked up and patted Tisha on the shoulder, saying, "Tell you what, I'll die after this game. A life for a life. Will that make you less angry?" Tisha didn't answer this question. He just felt that the Zhang Yuozhu in front of him was very strange. Or rather, all the people from Jidao were very strange. He paused for a moment, then turned around and picked up the letter on the table. "What about the original password? If you change the password, won't it kill my teammates again?" "What are you talking about?" "This is the password." Zhang Yuozhu looked at Kuzhou in confusion. "Isn't this the letter sent by your teammate?" "You?" Tisha was also somewhat confused. "You mean Jidao Wansui is the password? Are you guys in cahoots with Daegu?" "No. We have nothing to do with Shangri XIO." Zhang Yuozhu shook her head. "Tisha, you need to understand a logical relationship. Since Daegu said the letter is the password, the letter is Jidao Wansui. Then Jidao Wansui is the password." "What?" Tisha always felt that this was a very strange logical relationship. Zhang Yuozhu didn't seem like a completely irrational lunatic. but what she said was still hard to understand. Tijia slowly walked to the cabinet and with some doubt, hand wrote for Chinese characters Jidao Wan Sui on the touch screen. Zhang Zhu saw this and said with a smile, "It's really a bit unbelievable that these four characters are written by you." With a soft click, the cabinet door opened. Zhang Xihan was sitting inside trembling at that moment. She looked up and met He Xia's gaze. Before Tijia could say anything, Zhang Xihan immediately rushed forward and hugged him. Tijia, I? Xia's expression was a bit awkward, and he didn't know where to put his two hands. Great, I was really scared to death. Zhang Xihan was trembling all over. It wasn't clear whether it was because of fear or cold. I thought I'd be roasted alive in there. Lawyer Shan, I remember you didn't seem to like being touched by others, Tijia said awkwardly. Ah, Zhang Xihan quickly let go of her hands and wiped her tear-stained eyes. Sorry, did I cause you any trouble? Not really. It just gave me a start. Tijia shook his head. I don't like things that are beyond my expectation. In my impression, you're not this kind of person. Sorry. Zhang Xihan slowly lowered her head and regained her usual demeanor. Just as the two were silent, a broadcast in the room rang again. A team has successfully rescued their teammate. The game is over. The people in the whole building instantly became noisy. As the saying goes, some are happy while some are sad. Kuzhou heard a loud thud of footsteps. It seemed that someone was running towards the room where he was. He had a bad feeling and immediately went out to look. He saw old Lu, with a bruised face and swollen eyes, running towards him as if fleeing for his life. Happy help! Tijia frowned and saw a green-haired guy following old Lu, chasing and hitting him like a mad dog. Old dog, I told you, didn't I? If I die, you'll pay with your life. The green-haired guy seemed to be in a murderous rage, closely following old Lu. Isn't that your boyfriend? Tijia turned his head and asked, are all the people from Jidao this crazy? He's not from Jidao. Zhang Yuozhu crossed her arms. My role-playing game this time ends here. It's really tiring to play a woman with a love-struck brain, meaning you won't care about what happens next. Tijia said, no, I'll wait for death. Zhang Yuozhu went into the room and sat down, closing her eyes to rest. Tijia nodded and picked up the iron box from the table.